Tonight, unique jobs of a time gone by.
So I want to take a look at one of your jobs here. Can I pick any shoe here?
Sure.
Hobby jobs.
Never thought I'd be a coffee roaster when I was growing up.
Jobs of the essence.
This room, so tell us what some of it does here.
This is the embalming machine.
And four-legged workers.
Pretty much just the chauffeur. Tape does all the work.
A small local business ran by hand, using old equipment.
Been around for 60 years, still works great. We're gonna cut that piece off.
And some they consider modern. Today, we talk to a present-day shoe cobbler.
Come to Avon Shoes on the square in Watertown, and you might think it just looks like a normal shoe store, and in the front, it is. But go to the back of the store and step up to a time gone by.
So that's what we
We need
did.
some shoe repair.
Of course.
Finding the answers we all want to know.
I gotta ask you, do the shoes ever smell bad?
Yeah, unfortunately, it's part of the business.
And learning the fascinating local history of a business ran by generations of a family.
My grandfather started back in the 1920s, early 20s. He did shoe repair out of Sackett's Harbor before he moved in and started doing shoes and repair in the old Avon Theater on Arsenal Street back in the 40s. And moved to the Woodruff Hotel back in the 60s and moved to this location in 75. So it was my grandfather that brought him in. It's been my uncle and my dad and myself, so it's been 3 generations. It's all been family.
His grandfather learning the craft right where the best shoes of the times were being made.
He is right from Italy. He worked over there as an apprentice doing some repair, and then when he came over here in the 19-teens, he kept it going. Like I say, he found a shop in Sackett's Harbor that he could continue with the repair, but he did it as a teenager in Italy.
Bob had to think of the number of years he'd been doing the gig and landed on,
Well, it'd be 42.
with changing styles and materials, Bob's constantly pushed to stay with the times, yet always still returning to the basics.
It takes a lot. It takes years. There's so many little ins and outs, and now and materials are always changing, and I have to have that background to make a job work. That I have to make something up. There's not that much of a set book on something, and you go through a lot of trial and error where some things didn't work, and just find out what does, and it takes a while. It's hard. I try to show some people, and it's not easy to catch unless you have years like I did.
I was one of those people.
So I want to take a look at one of your jobs here. Can I pick any shoe here?
Sure.
All right, we'll just take this one from the end. And so I don't know anything, but let's look at the shoe, and I'm guessing it doesn't look, you're probably going to shine it.
It will, yes.
And obviously, this sticks out right here. You can see that the heel is kind of worn off.
Yes.
Is that what you're fixing?
Yes.
All right, so show us how you do it.
Okay, well, this type of sole is bonded to the shoe by the factory, so I would not necessarily resole this. It would be hard to get that out. I would retread this, and it has to be leveled first with a piece that would level it up. And then we would shave her clean and put new tread. I can show you the tread. It'd be like a piece of this tread. Then would go over the leveled heel like that.
Oh, cool.
And then a piece on the sole also, so the shoe would be retreaded and then obviously reconditioned and would be level, and this person would be walking straight again, and that's this job that I'm doing.
So how long does it take you to do this sort of thing?
Oh, like a job like this, probably 3 or 4 hours. There's a drying time involved that it's not all working on it and that kind of thing, and there's a piece here and a piece here and a piece here. So about 3 or 4 hours. I could do a job like this in an afternoon or morning.
From more complicated jobs like that to a simpler, buff and shine.
So I thought maybe it'd be cool if I can just take my shoe off here. What am I doing wrong here, and does it need any work?
Yeah, no, that shoe is in excellent shape. You could buff it on the wheel a little, and you put it on the wheel. And then you would just kind of gently buff it around the shoe.
How am I doing, all right?
Yeah, you're doing all right.
I think Bob was just being polite, but that difficulty of learning the craft, perhaps why it's a trade, seen less and less.
I think that just the involvement in it, you'd have to be hands-on for so long that. And if somebody would have to be like with us, with the family, I was always in here with it, so I learned it. I know some of the other places that have closed didn't have family that took it over or an apprentice. I think it might be just the time.
Those machines we were using at Avon Shoes have been there even longer than Bob.
But the equipment still is basic to modify a shoe between the grinder and the sewing machine and that kind of things.
Well, the products are ever-changing. The machinery used is rarely upgraded.
But it hasn't broke down much, to tell you the truth. This old machine from the 40s here has been pretty good.
And Bob's not planning on breaking down anytime soon either.
So the third generation here, I'm going to try to do this as long as I can. It's a kind of a thing that you can do as a semi-retirement, as almost a hobby. And something to keep busy when you're retired. So I think I'm going to be around a while.